Hey, house guests. Welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. Hope you're having a good day. We are going through some storms right now, so I'm hoping that everything will be okay during the stream. We don't lose power. We don't have like a freaking tornado busting through here because we are in a tornado warning. So, keep your fingers crossed that everything's okay. Our house guest of the day is Randy Westgard. Randy, thank you so much for the support over the years. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. If you guys want to be house guest of the day like Randy, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And also, if you're still looking to get the live feeds this summer, we have a link for Paramount Plus in our description. And if you use our link, we get a little kickback that we greatly appreciate. So we have a lot to discuss here today. Oh my goodness. Last night, we saw Tucker versus Kenny up on the block. Hello. America voted for Quinn to join them. He took it very well, I have to say. He did not lose his mind over it. And I think he realizes part of the reason he was up there is because he has the power and people wanted to see the drama, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean everyone hates him. Okay. So we saw Tucker beasted that AI arena competition, which means we were left with Quinn versus Kenny up on the block. And Kenny was put out of his misery and evicted by a vote of 10-1, the one being Tucker, right? So, yay, we don't have to deal with Kenny wanting to quit every other hour anymore. Ah! Praise the BB gods. Okay, so the feeds were back after the episode ended, but before the HOH competition, they've been doing that so far this season. And Quinn is really hoping that America, like America from last season, will follow him after this. Because, he just gave her a shout out, calling her the better half of AmeriCorey in his eviction speech. Is he like an AmeriCorey stan or whatever? Because this is like the second reference that he's made during a live show to them. He also made that joke during his first vote of the season when he was like, I beat Zach, which was the Corey reference. Remember? So he seems to be really into AmeriCorey. But anyway, Tucker and Joseph were celebrating Tucker's AI competition win in the storage room. And Joseph was like, can I give you some advice? I mean, you're going to anyway. So, but Tucker's like, yeah. So Joseph says, you should probably fade back into the shadows, which honestly is pretty good advice. But Tucker was like, yeah, I'm going to. However, first, I have to win this HOH. He's like, I have to win this HOH, and then I can be chill. And Joseph's like, why are you going to win this HOH, though? Quinn has the thing. He's got the secret power. And Tucker's like, yeah, I know that. And if I win HOH, Quinn can't put me up. Right? That's how he keeps himself safe this week. So Joseph is like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Like, you got a point there. And Tucker is saying, again, this is the last thing that he needs to do before he can chill, because he's hoping if he wins HOH, he can kind of barter with Quinn and they can call it even, right? So a little later, Tucker is chatting with Rubina in the back bedroom. Oh, the lovebirds. And Tucker says, Quinn should not have made that speech, bro. Because remember, he was talking about how he's going to come after Tucker during his pre-vote speech. And Tucker says he called me like 17 different names. And I think you called Cedric a bunch of names the other day, too. Tucker can dish it out, but he can't really take it. So Tucker says, I was going to try and rekindle things with Quinn, but now I want to win that HOH. I want to put Quinn up on the block and force him to use his power. I don't think he really understands how Quinn's power works. There's been a huge disconnect with how this power works, especially for Tucker and Angela. They do not seem to understand how this is all going down. But Tucker says, once I do that, I can settle the F down. He really feels also like some people were not as happy for him winning this time when he won the AI competition. And I believe he mentioned specifically Cam and Chelsea. He doesn't really know where he stands with them anymore. He doesn't know if he can trust them. Tucker is complaining more about Quinn's speech, calls him a little effing nerd. Ooh, not a little effing nerd, but Rubina's telling him to drop it. She says Quinn was trying to have his TV moment. That was more about him than you, right? That was just him trying to have his time. And I gotta say, Tucker should be very familiar with that feeling because he can't actually be this insane in real life, right? Like, part of this has to be because he's putting on a show, right? It can't all be like, for real. Is he really like that in real life? Because it's a lot. But anyway, Brooklyn, T-Court, and Chemo join Tucker and Rubina in the back bedroom. And these 5 quickly lock in an alliance called 5 Points. Interesting group. I'm very intrigued for a little bit. You'll see what I'm talking about. So Tucker says, yeah, this is a great group. But he is like, I'm going to be honest with you. Makensy and Chelsea both also approached me about making an alliance. So I might get into something with them as well, just to kind of like feel them out, see where they're at. But he says 5 Points is the core group. I mean, in a way, I guess it's good that he's just being upfront about it, but also like it's kind of sketchy. I don't know about all that. After T-Court and Chemo have a game chat in the have not room. And they're like, whoa, we're in quite a few alliances right now. We're really playing. And T-Court says it's just so fun that they're talking so much game now. They're not just like sitting around waiting for all of the big targets to leave. So T-Court mentions she wishes Cedric would stop mentioning the alliance name, the Collective, so much because, like, it's dangerous when you're just saying the name so much. We don't need that out there. She also feels like the 5 Points, Chelsea and Quinn are going to be the most beneficial players to hers and Chemo's games. Are they? I don't know. We'll see. T-Court is asking Chemo, do you think that I should spill to Chelsea about the 5 Points alliance? Because I don't want her to get screwed over. Oh my God, she's already going to be telling on this alliance. And Chemo's like, I don't know. I think you should just like wait a little bit and see where things go. But it's already too late because Brooklyn beat her to it. Brooklyn already spilled to Chelsea and she's like, oh yeah, it's good because we've got 3 people from the Collective in this new alliance. So like we can keep an eye on things or whatever. So these alliances don't last long before somebody spills about them. That's kind of disappointing. But back to T-Court and Chemo. T-Court says we really need to be careful with Tucker because while he can protect us somewhat, that's only going to go so far. It's dangerous to get too close to him because if you start getting associated with him, you're going to be in trouble. He is one of the biggest, if not the biggest targets in the house right now. So you don't want to be put on the block just for being associated with him. So, yeah, I mean, that's true. Okay. So then Angela and Tucker have a chat, and they're like BFFs now. He used this veto on her, and she is just like, I love you, man. So Angela says, I want more than anything for either you or me to win this HOH. Because they're cut from the same cloth. They're both chaotic as hell. So Angela says, I don't care if this gets back to them, but I want you to know that Brooklyn, Chelsea, and Rubina are running the show with the girls. She says 100%. Are they though? I mean, I will say that Brooklyn and Chelsea definitely have a lot of influence. I don't know where she's getting Rubina from. I don't think that that's the case, but Angela tells Tucker, they're all kissing your ass. I'm wondering if she just threw Rubina in there because she wants to be the closest person to Tucker and she wants to make sure that he has doubts about Rubina. That's the only thing I can think of because, like, why else Rubina? But Angela says those ladies are staying close to you because they're afraid of you. Also, I feel like it's just super bold for her to throw Rubina under the bus like this when Angela can see that those two are like going towards a showmance. So that's a lot to be like, hey, Rubina's using you. Meanwhile, Joseph and Quinn are chatting about what Quinn plans to do with his upgrade power because he does want to use it. This is the last week that he can. So Quinn says, I plan to put up Angela, Tucker, and Rubina. And he says, I'm going to throw the HOH competition if it looks like someone from the Collective is going to win. But he does not want any of his potential nominees or Makensy winning this competition, right? Because he doesn't want to have to get any other blood on his hands. He just wants to put up the obvious targets. So that's kind of boring, but whatever. Okay, so then the feeds go down for the HOH competition, and it was a knockout competition of some sort. I don't know what the questions were based on. Maybe it's something that they showed them. I don't know. But it was a knockout competition, and Angela won her second HOH. Dang, lady. Again, I have to go back to those preseason interviews when Angela was like, oh, I'd love to win at least a few HOHs. And we were like, okay, she's doing the damn thing. She's doing it. Quinn is most likely going to take over, but at least Angela's going to be safe for the week, right? She will not be eligible to be nominated because she won the HOH. And according to Tucker, this was not just some like win by default win, right? Because a lot of times with the knockout competition, we'll see someone just skate through and not get chosen to compete. And then sometimes they even win because the other person got the question wrong. But apparently, Angela was getting picked to play over and over and over again. She had to compete in more rounds than anyone else, and she crushed it. Get it, sis? Okay, so Makensy is not as thrilled by this HOH outcome. She feels like she's going to be going up no matter who's making the nominations, Angela or Quinn. So she's talking to T-Core, and Makensy's really feeling like she's on the outside of everything. Yeah, it seems like no one really wants to solidify anything with her. Even Leah at this point is distancing herself from Makensy. Makensy's also worried because if she goes up on the block this week, she's probably going to be going up against Tucker, and we've seen what he can do in competition. So she is definitely nervous about that. And she says she's terrified to even have to have a one-on-one with Angela because you never know how that's going to go, right? A one-on-one with Angela. So T-Core tells Makensy, just do your best. I have your back too. I'll have your back when I talk to Angela. Also, Angela is not going to be running things this week, so like whatever. I do have to say though, at one point, Makensy did have her one-on-one with Angela, and they were talking about working together. And I think that Angela's like legit open to it because who else does Angela have at this point besides maybe Tucker, right? So she is looking to collect those allies. So I think she would welcome working with Makensy. And that's basically what she told her. But apparently Angela thinks that she can convince Quinn not to use his power. Girl. Makensy was going around telling everyone this story about how after the competition, she congratulated Angela on her win. And Makensy was like, I guess we're just going to have to see what he does, meaning Quinn. And Angela was like, what he does? And Angela seems to be under the impression that she's going to convince Quinn to let her just like do her HOH and that he's not going to use his power. No chance. Okay, this season is so weird. So many people keep volunteering to go up on the block. Quinn was sharing with the Pentagon that yes, he is going to use his power, and he's thinking about putting up Makensy, Tucker, and Rubina. And then Cedric offers himself up. He's like, why don't you put me up with Makensy and Tucker so that I can compete against them in the veto and, possibly the AI competitions if I'm still up there. So what? I guess he figures people are stepping up here to compete. He wants to do it. I saw somebody on Twitter saying this is like the challenge Big Brother, which I do agree. It seems like this group is all about like competing. And I do think also that has to do with having this extra AI competition element, right? It's another chance to get off the block. And it's a lot. But Quinn is like, you know what? I'm not really sure I want to do that to you, Cedric, because you hardcore stuck out your neck for me last week, not putting me up on the block. But maybe after the POV. Maybe not as an initial nominee, but maybe after the veto. Like, let's see what happens. So we'll come back to that. But then we have Tucker talking to Angela. They are both pumped for Angela's HOH win. And Angela says, I've got nothing but good things to say about you, Tucker. So Angela does bring up, though, that Brooklyn is pissed at her. Apparently, Angela picked Brooklyn multiple times in the knockout HOH competition, and Brooklyn's not happy about it. She says Brooklyn will not look at me. She won't hug me. Oh boy. You know how Angela feels when people will not hug her. So Tucker is like, okay, let's talk about nominations. He's asking Angela to put up Quinn to expose his power. What are you talking about? Again, I think there's a huge disconnect. Tucker and Angela specifically do not seem to understand how Quinn's power works. Tucker says Quinn is such a strong player as it is, and then this power, like, we need to expose it. I'm under the impression that Tucker thinks that Quinn has to be nominated in order to activate his power, or maybe he thinks that Quinn wouldn't use his power unless he was nominated, right? Unless he feels like he is personally in danger. Also, Angela seems to think that Quinn has this power until week 6. So maybe that's why she thinks there's a chance that he won't use it. Like maybe he's going to wait and use it in the future. But in reality, this is the last week that he can use it. So Tucker is suggesting Angela puts up Quinn and Cedric. He also says, I'm pretty sure that Brooklyn is running the show here, just like Kenny said. Not just like Kenny said. But Angela's like, I don't want to make waves with Brooklyn right now since, my nominations could possibly get taken over anyway. They definitely are. She doesn't want Brooklyn to be pissed at her. But also she doesn't realize when her nominations are taken over, she's not going to be nominating anybody, right? Quinn is going to be deep fake nominating in place of her, not after her. So Angela and Tucker do agree that they trust each other completely. It's a real love fest. Well, that love fest was over once Brooklyn and Angela had a chat. Brooklyn's like, congrats again. But why did you keep picking me during the HOH competition? And Angela says, it wasn't personal. You're smart, you're strong, and I really wanted to win HOH again. So Brooklyn says, okay, but I'm like one of the only people that's been honest with you this whole time. I don't think Brooklyn's been the biggest Angela fan, but okay. But Brooklyn brings up how Angela apparently picked her back-to-back times. And Angela's like, you're right. Because I saw how determined you were to win that competition. It was not personal. I'm sorry you felt that way. I just really wanted to win too. And she says, I know you're going to be safe this week. I don't have that the way that you do. You have so many people on your side, so many people you're working with. I don't have that. So I really needed this. I mean, she is right about that. But Brooklyn is like crying at the end of this conversation. Angela is actually, I don't even know if Brooklyn's tears were genuine. I know for sure Angela was pretending to cry because after Brooklyn leaves, Angela is still trying to squeeze out those tears. And she says to the cameras, I can't cry. I can't make it happen. Shit. She's one of a kind. Okay, so later, Quinn confirms to his allies he is absolutely 100% using his upgrade power, and Angela is not going to get to make nominations. Again, it's not like she nominates and then he is like, no, and he does his. No, she will not be nominating at all. So he does want to know who she wants up on the block, though, or who she would plan to put up on the block. So he does want to have a one-on-one with her and kind of feel her out, get some info if he can. But he lets his allies know he's planning on putting up Tucker, Makensy, and Rubina. And the reason he's thinking Rubina is because he doesn't want to see Rubina win the veto and then use it on Tucker. So if she is also up on the block, she's going to use it on herself and not Tucker. Unless you're Tucker and you use it on other people. But I don't see many people doing that. So Quinn, he really wants Tucker to go this week. I mean, Tucker has said publicly multiple times that he is targeting Quinn. And Quinn is now saying Cedric would be the replacement nominee if necessary. And he would be a pawn, not a target. All right. So then Angela got her HOH room. She got her letter from her daughter, and her daughter was like, it's admirable that you're finally doing something for yourself. It was a real big up yourself type letter, and it was really sweet. And she also told Angela if there's any cute guys, give them her number. Who do you think Angela would pick out for her daughter out of this group? I don't know. I don't know that there's a choice in there for her. But anyway, some late night stuff from last night. Quinn and Angela did end up having a one-on-one. and she is asking Quinn how his power works, which is funny because Angela is the first person that Quinn told about his power, and yet she's so confused about it. Listen to what he says. It still didn't sink in after that. But they agree that they're public beef. They're having a lot of fun with it. And it is pretty funny, just seeing how they interact with each other. They still are cordial, but you can tell that there's tension there. But also they're playing it up for the show. Quinn is asking Angela, who would you want on the block? And she's like, I don't know. I have to think about it. I'll give you an answer tomorrow morning. And Quinn's like, okay, cool. I just want you to know, I'm asking everyone this. He's going to be having one-on-ones with everyone as if he was the actual HOH this week. And he says, I got to tell the diary room what I'm going to be doing by noon. So if you want me to have your input, let me know before noon. So Angela then starts talking about how she never spilled Quinn's secret to anyone. And Quinn's like, I know you told Tucker. Tucker told me that you told him. And she was like, oh, really? Oh, that's so weird. I have to mention too, they were also play yelling during this conversation, raised voices, but they were kind of having fun with it, kind of serious. And Angela's like, well, I don't know who I'm putting up. So she still doesn't know how this power works. How many times does it have to be explained to her? But also late last night, a new Final Three was born. Joseph, Chemo, and T-Core. They're calling themselves the Guppies because they're going to let the sharks eat each other and then the fish can swim. It's another deal to throw in the pile, right? How serious is it? I don't know. But then let's talk about what's going on today. As of this morning, Angela was still thinking that she would be picking the replacement nominee if the veto is used this week, which I believe is incorrect. I'm pretty sure Quinn holds all of that power, right? Tucker was also under the impression that Angela would be able to pick a replacement nominee. I don't think so. In other news, Quinn dressed up all funky in a suit for his one-on-one meetings with everyone. Kevin Jacobs from BB Can says hello. Kevin Jacobs, aka Andrew Gross. Who wore it better? I have to say, Kevin really, he really did it up when he pretended to be a lawyer for his meetings. But I don't know, Quinn sometimes I just feel like is trying too hard. I really appreciate that he's a super fan and he loves this game, but I just want to see some authentic stuff from him. But he does let everyone know, when you come and talk to me for your one-on-one, please tell me what time it is when we start our meeting because I have to be in the DR by noon to tell them what I'm doing. You know what I have to say? Filibuster! If he didn't make it in before noon, do you think they'd really be like, sorry, you're not using your power? I don't know. And can you imagine if somebody really did try to stop him from using it by just talking forever and lying about what time it is? That'd be wild. But Quinn starts conducting his meetings, and he mentioned last week that if he won HOH, he was going to test Leah, right? And now he's basically HOH. So he asked Leah, is Makensy coming after me? And he knows that she is, but he wants to see what Leah's going to say. And Leah said, no, she's not coming after you, but Makensy thinks that you are targeting her. So Quinn reveals later he was disappointed by this answer. He feels like Leah was lying to him. This tells him that Leah is closer to Makensy than she is to Quinn. I don't know that she's even close to Makensy anymore, but she's definitely got her issues with Quinn, which she has talked about with other people. But, Leah has thrown Quinn on the bus to a bunch of people. So that being said, he's not targeting Leah or anything. He's just not going to prioritize her as much in his alliances. So Quinn is now considering taking Cedric up on his offer to be a pawn this week because he realized, I'm not guaranteed to play in this veto competition. As the actual HOH, Angela will be playing. Quinn is only going to play if he gets drawn to play. Yeah, so he wants to make sure that there are some strong competitors. Angela's won more competitions than Quinn at this point, right? But anyway, yeah, he wants to make sure there's strong competitors against Tucker in the veto. So he's like, if Cedric is offering, I'm going to take him up on that. So Quinn then had a one-on-one with Makensy, and he let her know she is going to be going up on the block, but he says, it's because I need strong competitors against Tucker in the veto. And he lets her know, if you're still up on the block on Thursday, I am not going to be voting you out. Dang, so he still gets a vote too? I feel like this deep fake HOH power is way overpowered. Because, like, okay, he gets control of the HOH, and just think, like, if he hadn't blown it and, like, this was still a secret and nobody knew about it, that'd be insane on its own. But the fact that he is also able to still vote this week, he's able to still play for HOH next week, that is so much power. There's also the whole thing about how he's able to, like, basically control what is said at the nomination ceremony, because I guess they're gonna make an AI Angela, right? So, like, maybe AI Angela pops up in Ainsley's area, and, like, Quinn is gonna control what she says. So, like, if it was a secret, that would be hilarious. But because everybody knows that Quinn is the one with the power, he said he's just gonna, like, make some jokes. So we'll see what he says. But I mean, he could have used that in a game way if nobody knew that he was the one that had the power. But this power is so overpowered. OP. So Makensy took it well, finding out that she's going to be going up. She's like, I understand. I'm going to fight hard in the competitions. So we'll see if she's just putting on a brave face or what. But Quinn also had a one-on-one with Tucker, which did not go well. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see this on the feeds. I don't know why they keep blocking all the juicy stuff. It's really annoying. But apparently there was some drama. So from what I can gather, Tucker has been going around accusing Quinn of lying about what his power actually does, and essentially accusing him of cheating, right? By lying about what his power does, so people would be, like, scared of him. But he's not lying. It's just really overpowered. But Quinn has heard that Tucker's been saying these things, and he's really upset. He doesn't want to be accused of cheating. So I guess they got into it during their one-on-one conversation, and we got to see, like, literally one little blip of, like, blah, 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 and that was it. And then we saw them breaking apart after the conversation, and Tucker called Quinn a lying sack of shit, and Quinn called him an effing dick. So why are we not getting to see the conversation on the feeds? It's so frustrating. Like, I can't even imagine what they were saying during this. I mean, I can. I just told you what I think they were talking about. But I want to see, like, the actual conversation. So hopefully we'll get to see that on the show. But Quinn was very upset after this convo broke up. He was kind of, like, tearing up. So, yeah. They're going to have the nomination ceremony at some point today. Quinn did confirm to Joseph that Makensy, Tucker, and Cedric are definitely going up. I think he had to, like, submit that to the diary room, and now they're, like, setting up AI Angela to make that happen, which I can't wait to see how that's all going to play out. I'm curious to see what he's going to make AI Angela say. I don't know. But if you want to check back later, I will post the official nominees in the description for this stream, just so we have that. But I'm pretty sure he already put Makensy, Tucker, and Cedric, right? So it'll be official later. But tomorrow should be fun with the veto competition and everything. It's going to be an intense one. So I hope you will all join me to talk about that tomorrow. And I want to thank you all so much for watching today. And I want to give a special thanks to all of our super chatters. So Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Jody says, crazy week. Have a great weekend. Go crazy Tucker. Or go crazy Tucker. Or go crazy Tucker. I'm not sure. But in any case, thank you, Jody. Connor Benson. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Connor says this season is giving. Regarding Quinn, I'm not necessarily rooting for or against him, but I will admit he's been a little too cocky and arrogant. I'm hoping Cedric and Chelsea wake up a little to his game. I mean, he's definitely been very cocky. I just feel like he thinks very highly of his gameplay when what we've seen so far has been not great. I would say it's kind of in the same vein of Joseph. I think Joseph is joking a little bit more about it, but they're both giving me those vibes of like super fans who think that their shit don't stink. I don't know. Oh, Connor, thank you so much. Another one. And Connor says, one more thing. More eyes need to be on Brooklyn. If she continues, she will become very dangerous down the line. Same with Chelsea. I agree. I think Brooklyn is definitely one of the best players this season. Kenny was definitely catching on to that. I think that conversation is dying down a little bit now that he's gone, but Tucker is trying to make sure that it stays in the forefront. Angela is also talking about how Brooklyn is running things. So there's definitely still people looking at her. I just don't know if it's going to catch on because Brooklyn is doing a very good job of being like, come on. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, Brooklyn, honestly, I'm very surprised by her and I'm really enjoying watching her so far. Mary Ellen L, thank you so much for the super chat. As always, you are a rock star. Wendy Will, oh, hi. Thank you so much. Shane Wright, thank you so much. And Jefferson Tucker, thank you for the super chat. Yay. He said, finally caught you all live. Hi. Hello back. I hope you're enjoying the season so far. So thank you all so much for watching. I got some work to do right now because we have a festival that we're vending at on Sunday, and I need to finish packing up our inventory and like tagging things and all that good stuff. So we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all so much. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.